Guilt-wrapped opportunity then for Erling Haaland. It's his first. It will not be his last. And helped in for Haaland, 3-2. It's Kevin De Bruyne again. Haaland chasing. That's what he does. You cannot keep him quiet.
Reinders. Haaland, 3. Utterly clinical from Manchester City. Haaland wants it, Haaland has it, and scores against his home City club.
To Johnny Reinders, and he gives it to the Norwegian.
And Erling Haaland gives Manchester City the lead with their first shot of the game. Now Gundogan getting to the byline, Foden coming back in, Haaland back on the score sheet. Really shaking on, lovely reverse ball, De Bruyne. And his ball inch perfect for Erling Haaland.
Bernardo Silva arriving, Haaland arriving. Haaland! Oh, it's another classic!
Born in Leeds, raised in Norway, but made in Manchester. And here's Ilkay Gundogan again. Haaland!
Alvarez, Haaland. Incredible, 2 goals in 35 minutes.
Grealish can stand it up for Haaland. And finally, the resistance is broken.
In last season, of course, United did come back to win 2-1. This is Haaland, though, to give it a 2-goal lead to City. Bernardo Silva on to Haaland, and he's got it in.
De Bruyne are able to find Haaland, taking it on and scoring.
Now Kevin De Bruyne.
Now Erling Haaland! There is no flag, and Manchester City score in North London.
Marmoush trying to wriggle his way through. He set up Haaland. It's been coming.
He'll chip it for Erling Haaland.
Brilliant.
And that could be the game for Manchester City.
City are threatening to really turn the screw. Erling Haaland arrives to join the party. Scored his first touch in the Champions League on Wednesday, and he's in here, and he scores!
Welcome to Match Day Live. The international break is over and Manchester City are back for the first time in 13 days. It felt like much longer, but today City have the opportunity to go above their rivals and go top of the Premier League. How good does that sound to say once again? The omens are very good against Everton. City are unbeaten in their last 16 games, and there are plenty of players in form for the Blues. None other than that man Nico O'Reilly, who just found himself in the England squad most recently, and, well, one man we mention every single week because he scores every single week, Erling Haaland. Another hat-trick, by the way, for Norway during the international break. And his goal at Brentford means he scored in every Premier League stadium bar one. We'll be playing at Anfield very, very soon, so let's hope he breaks that one too. The team news is here, it's ready, it's waiting, and I'm ready to reveal it for you exclusively on Matchday Live. In goal is Gigio Donnarumma. At right back, Mateus Nunes. And then at centre-back, our captain, Ruben Diaz. And alongside Ruben in the back four is Nathan Ake. A start once again for Nico O'Reilly. Recently signed a new deal with the club. Nico plays a number 14. And then Tijani Reinders, our number 4 in the starting lineup today. A start for Savinho. Another man who has just recently signed a new deal. And one of our own, number 47, Phil Foden. And a man who is in hot form this season, number 11, Jeremy Doku. And that man, number 9, who else? Erling Haaland starts at the Etihad Stadium once again. And wow, what a team. What a lineup as well here at the Etihad Stadium. 2 legends, Andy Morrison and a man who's represented both clubs, Joleon Lescott. Now, I mean, we remember Joleon as a defender, but there's only one place to start, and that's with this man scoring a hat-trick for Wythenshawe FC. Joleon, listen, a hat-trick just casually as you do Doesn't surprise me, by the way. I filmed a YouTube video with him and he scored left, right, everything. Got a lot in your locker still.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, it's, as I said, it's vet, so it's over 35s, and I'm still quite nimble for them, for that age group. But no, it's something that there's a group of us that play when we can. Only the home games, really, and it's fun.
He's playing it down. He's an absolute baller still. And he looks great. And speaking of looking great, you've come in a shirt today, Andy. Dressed for the big occasion.
Yeah. Made an effort today. Out tonight, so yeah, made an effort.
Let's move on then, shall we, to that team news. We've seen it. Man City seems to have that feel-good factor back with them. I'm going to start from a defensive point of view. I'm going to start with the goalkeeper. Having a good goalkeeper is so important. We're so blessed. We've had great goalkeepers over the years at this club. Gigio Donnarumma looks like he's fitting straight away. You forget how young he is. He's completed everything in football. He doesn't seem to be fazed by anything. How much confidence does that give you? And that's a question for both of you as defenders.
Yeah, I think there's a presence in there. You know, he has a demeanour about him that's so confident. You know, it's not aloof in any way. It's just the way he carries himself from day one in the derby. You know, the way he went onto the pitch and you just think, wow. And the performance followed on. And since that day, you know, he's been so dominant. You know, I think there's a respect there. When he's in the box, I think defenders know that when he comes, he's coming. You know, and that does put a little bit of doubt. You know, when you know that's the size and that frame is going to attack the ball, it will make you think. And he's done everything that we would have ever hoped for.
Yeah, the perfect start for him. And when you go from a goalkeeper like Ederson, who was fantastic, no goalkeeper has got more Premier Leagues than him. That goes to show how incredible he was. But also with his feet, there was a lot of talk about, oh, Donnarumma's coming in and we've got to be, you know, it's going to be a little bit worrying. Well, he's not really shown many signs of weaknesses, if any. Yeah,
no, and I don't think he's poor with his feet. He just wasn't going to be recognised the same level of Ederson, and that's okay. Ederson was arguably the best to ever do it with his feet. But the requirements for the team now are slightly different. I think the way we concede opportunities and chances, he's probably more suited for that. He's probably recognised that when teams do get through, it tends to be 1v1 because we play aggressive line. And he makes saves. And that's what you want. That's the confidence you get from a defender, is knowing that if a mistake does happen and they get through, I'm confident my keeper can make a save.
And Ruben Diaz as well seems to be really, really confident, back to his best, playing a lot well. He's going to be partnering alongside Nathan Ake. We haven't seen much of Nathan. Of course, we've got the Champions League coming midweek as well, but it'll be very, very nice to see him back out there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're both centre-halves, and, you know, I love centre-half partnerships. You know, I don't like seeing them split, especially when they're going really well. But, you know, they'll know, the sports scientists and all that will know where they're at in their recoveries from games. So, I mean, and Nathan will be ready and chomping at the bit to get a start and play. And, you know, and we know exactly what he's capable of. And alongside Diaz, you know, who's a dominant, he's more the five, the old-fashioned five, who wants to go and attack, and it'll be a good battle today.
It will be a good battle, a tough game against Everton. I know we've got a good record against them. They've started the season fantastically. We'll have the team news for them in a moment. It's going to be tough. They're going to be a tough team to break down. One man who's been in sensational form is Jeremy Doku. Craig Bellamy, a man that we know very well at this club, was speaking so highly of him after the Wales game. He's just added so much more, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think he's just added a level of calmness, composure. I think everyone's questioned, like, the consistency with the end product, and I think he's found it. I think it was evident in the Club World Cup. I don't know whether it was the conditions. It allowed him to operate slightly slower than he is being operating, but still faster than everybody else. And I think that level of composure now you're seeing in the end product. And he's always been a threat 1v1, but now he's recognising that, oh, if I just slow my game down 5-10%, I'm still faster than everyone else, and it allows him to make the right decisions and operate at a very, very high level.
Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure. This is the goal against Napoli, of course, one that we've been speaking about for a long time. I mean, Andy, a question for you here. Like, we've seen it with Phil Foden as well this season. Do you think sometimes when things don't go quite well in the season, do you think that refresh and having a brand new start is super important? Because it seems like a lot of the players are so much more, playing with a lot more confidence, and sort of have forgotten a little bit about the struggle. Yeah,
I mean, you will. You know, there's seasons you look back in your career when you weren't at your very best, and then, you know, you may have followed it up with a good season. But, you know, I think it's lost sometimes, Doku, you know, how he's progressed. And we shouldn't be surprised that players who do come in, we've seen it so many times, even with Rodri, we go back, that development phase, and then they kick to a different level. We've seen it with so many, especially wide players who have learnt the game and understand how Pep wants to play, when he wants you to go and when he doesn't want you to attack. And Doku wanting to go every time when he first came, then he didn't, and then he seemed to get caught in no man's land. It seems to be clear now that he knows when we want him to go and engage the fullback and make that final movement. And he's added the goals and the end product this season. I think everything else was there almost until the final moment, and then there was a sense of frustration because you weren't getting it. We're getting the whole package now, and at times he looks unplayable. And ultimately, teams are going to find a way to double up and maybe even triple up and force him away or stop the ball to him. That's going to open up other avenues for us to hurt the opposition.
And one man who is hotly marked every single game by potentially 2 centre-halves is still scoring every week, Erling Haaland. It seems like this season with Erling, we're seeing the ball over the top, I think, by Josko Vardiol there, the strength, the goal we scored 13 days ago, which won us the game at Brentford. We're seeing a different side to his game, which, when you look at his goal-scoring record, is quite strange because you think he's got everything, but we're seeing balls over the top to him. Do you think the team are finding him in different areas now? The Monaco goal was very similar, a ball over the top, again by Josko Vardiol.
Listen, I don't know, but I would assume the manager said, listen, he makes aggressive runs every time. Like, you need to force the ball forward, and not just wastefully. It's like, recognise the run, because he will continuously run, and it causes problems for defence. But as a defender, if I'm thinking they're not trying to get him in, then I don't have to adjust my line. But now we're seeing, obviously, the Monaco, that game, it's like, oh, if he's running, they're trying to play it and they're forcing it. And it tends to be Guardiola a lot. He's played a few passes for him now and he's recognising. So they're creating a partnership, and it's exciting because he seems like you said, like Phil and Doku, he's come back this season with a mentality of, oh, there's an opportunity here. The burden, he may want and feel the responsibility that is left from a Kevin, because we've all questioned whether that was he going to get as many opportunities, and he's taken every opportunity he's got so far this season.
And that header, by the way,
incredible.
Not many people have spoke about this one, but to guide the ball in the corner at that power, it's perfect.
It's not even that. He's so high, he's having to stoop down. It's like he's jumped up to head it, like to crouch his body. Like, his athleticism, I think he's probably taken for granted because he's so well-rounded. We see the runs and we know the strength, but the first goal, the touch to elevate yourself and just to caress it in, that header out, he's got so many strings to his bow.
We've got 10 years left of Erling Haaland, by the way. Look, I mean, it's probably a difficult question to answer, but how far can this man go in terms of goal scoring? Can he put himself in the names with the greatest ever to play in this country or in football?
I think, when we talk about the greats, and I think there's a mentality at the very, very top, and I think there's something different in their psyche, their personality, and it's almost, I don't know, spiritual, the depth of it. And I look at some of his stuff over the summer that he did and the lengths he goes to, and I saw something on social media getting into an ice bath at 1:45 in the morning and basically just saying you've got to do what you've got to do. And I know that's for that, but there is, I saw the hill runs that he did, and there's something that I believe he's willing to go to any length to find out how good he can be. Not the titles and not all those accolades, but how good can I be? And I think the very best want to be and find out when they finish their career, I've maximised everything, and I think he's doing everything he can. And the numbers up to now are just off the scale, aren't they?
He just seems like such good fun in the dressing room as well, or throughout. I mean, I played him in a game of FC, and the way that he is with all the players, they don't only respect him a lot, there's a really, really good relationship.
Yeah, because he's still young and he looks like he's enjoying it, and I'm sure he does, as long as he's playing as well as he is. You don't play as well as you are playing for him and not enjoy it, because it doesn't get better than this. Like, he's scoring goals, he's getting opportunities, he's shouldering the burden of being the man, and he's enjoying it. So, like Andy said, he definitely has got a mindset that's different, and he's wired different. The very best players are wired differently and are willing to do things that 90% of players aren't, and it doesn't allow you to just be great, it allows you to stay great, and that's the difference. He's going to be, as good as we're seeing him now, I think he's going to maintain this level for the rest of his career because his professionalism allows him to.
Well, let's hope so. Let's hope you're right. You're rarely wrong. Look, we're looking at our defence as well. It's looking like it's a lot more settled. Of course, Ake's in, but I mean, you'd say Núñez Ruben and Nico O'Reilly are pretty much set. Of course, we saw Kuchinov at some points at right back, but how important is it to have that settled defence? I go back to the year that City won the league for the first time. The back four we had there was quite solid. The partnerships.
Listen, I think it is, but I think we're talking from our experiences. I think we've got to respect that over the years that hasn't been the case. Like when we first had Aki and Akanji and Stones and Diaz, there was changes, and that was the beauty of what Pep had created, was that regardless of who was coming in and who was playing together, it was equally as strong. So I think he's trying to find that balance again. Obviously, injuries and have an impact on that, who you can select. But they looked comfortable. They looked like they're on the same page, and that's key. Whether it's successful or not, we don't know, but they just look like they're all singing from the same hymn sheet.
And managing minutes as well at this point, when we've got the European football as well. We, of course, drew the game in Monaco. They'll be desperate to win in Villarreal as well, won't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the strength of the squad, we were looking at the bench today, it's phenomenal. I think it's only Kuzanov that maybe, was closest back, but, not involved today. So you need that depth, obviously, and again, the sports scientists and the data will tell them where they're at and who can be involved and who's ready to go. I still think the manager will want key players, obviously Rodri, who's out at the minute, but yeah, that's why the squad is what it is. That it's like for like, and the same qualities coming onto the pitch, whatever we change.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at the Everton team news, but we're going to head down pitch side where Michael Brown is joined by Ali.
Yeah, welcome to Pitchside, where I'm joined by one of our Matchday Live regulars, Michael Brown. Michael, you've had a chance to digest the City team. What strikes you most of all about it?
I think it's great to see Nathan Ake back in the side. He's been that regular for such a long time. He's the flexibility, whether it's at left back, whether it's at centre back. I think he's just a great team player. I think he's for the team first, so obviously that's a standout. Jeremy Doku coming in, I think he's been exceptional so far this season, getting better, understanding his role. Being a little bit selfish at times, attacking with real speed and intensity. So all around the pitch, obviously Nico in the middle as well is going to be very, very important. But I feel like it's a game we can dominate. Everton might sit there and wait and have a little look, but we've got to be quick and slick.
Unbeaten since those 2 defeats at the end of August. Have you seen signs of City getting back to what you expect from them?
You would say so. I think the organisation, determination not to concede, to be hard to beat, I think has been important. Starting with Erling Haaland at the top, dropping back in. We've seen that fighting spirit against Brentford where they sat in and wait and consolidated and found it tough at times. Maybe we have to obviously be a little bit more creative at the top of the pitch, make sure we take chances. We didn't have too many, but I feel like there's an organisation and a tempo and understanding when we're not playing so well, how to get the results.
And of course, since Donnarumma came in, no defeats. What kind of presence has he been, would you say?
It's amazing, actually. We're doing quite a few things today here talking about Donnarumma, and we're still waiting for his interview, waiting for him to step forward and tell us about his Manchester City journey so far. But what he's brought is a calmness, a great stature, a leader, somebody who understands winning trophies and what that brings. So I think there's a few question marks about how's he going to play, can he take it with his feet. He's been quite composed, he's not over-complicated it, and hopefully that can stay that way. But he's very experienced, I think he's a great leader so far, and it's been great to see the addition.
Well, we've got the Everton team as well. I'll just give you that so that you're up to date with everything. Of course, Jordan Pickford in goal, Michael Keane, James Tarkowski, Beto's up front, Iliman Ndiaye, Jake O'Brien, Vitaly Mikolenko. Kieran Dewsbury-Hall comes back in after suspension, the first player to get 5 bookings this season. Carlos Alcaraz, Idrissa Gueye and James Garner. So a couple of changes, but I guess they were obvious. Jack Grealish can't play for obvious reasons against his parent club. Kieran Dewsbury-Hall does come back in after suspension, and of course they've decided to make a bit of a switch with Dibbling coming out and Alcaraz coming in. What do you make of Everton?
Joe, you look now and the talking players, we're all waiting to get a glimpse. Is Jack Grealish coming to the game? Is he going to be here? Everton will really be disappointed for him not to be there. He's been creating, he's been doing ever so well, playing, enjoying football firstly, but we knew that was forecast for some time. Iliman Ndiaye is certainly the main man. I've watched his journey through at Sheffield United. He's got a real cleverness, hard to shake off the ball in little tight areas. He's really strong, and now he's getting into good positions. Alcaraz coming in, Diblin's the talent. Maybe it was just a step too far, really, of maybe getting the ball back, being a little bit harder for David Moyes. So that back four, the experience tells you there that they're going to stay, they're going to be hard to beat, going to be solid. Jordan Pickford signing his new contract. And it's one of those, can they score goals? Can they cause problems for City? We shouldn't see too many problems because of the way they're going to set up. Beto leads the line, very inconsistent what he brings, but still can be dangerous.
If obviously I've seen a lot of Everton, I know you have too. If you were looking at a weakness within them, what would you say it is?
I think it's creating, it's scoring goals. I think a David Moyes side understand the setup of where you've got to be. He was criticised for some time at West Ham about not being as adventurous, not playing as nice attacking football. I think he can do that when he has the right players and the right team. And I think he's been left quite light this season with the personnel. So I think the strength is being tight, being solid and organised with a real experienced group, and then the next bit, can they get better going forward?
And what do you think? What's your gut feeling?
I think it's Manchester City all the way. We're looking for a quick start as usual. Don't let them settle in. Make them go on the back foot. I expect a really comfortable home win.
OK, there you go. The thoughts of former City midfielder Michael Brown. Let's go back to the studio where I think Andy and also FG are alongside Julian Liscott.
Has he got some new clothes, FG, today? Is he looking smart? Has he done his hair? We'll soon see. He always has a go.
New clothes? What's that?
Thank you very much, Michael Brown. We saw you wearing a shirt. We saw the white T-shirt underneath as well, pal. We'll be speaking about that soon. A massive thank you to you guys, Peter. Let's carry on that conversation then, shall we?
What about your clothes?
I mean, look, if we're looking at my clothes...
I like it.
I can never say anything to Jolien, by the way. I've learnt the hard way. And then Andy found out I was stepping in for a while and he's wearing a shirt. So, yeah. This, by the way, is out now, available on LandCity.com.
I like it, mate. I like it.
The special edition fourth kit, which City will debut wearing it in the Villarreal game. Everton, the team news that we're going to start with the goalkeeper again. A man that I think gets spoken about sometimes with a little bit of lack of respect. Is that fair, Jolien? Because England's number one, Mr. Reliable. He seems to be really important for Everton. Saved a penalty this season as well at the stadium against Brighton. He's a fantastic goalkeeper.
Yeah, he's top goalkeeper. And you don't play that many games and have the record you've got for the national team if you're not. I definitely think... But also, he's not the exact same goalkeeper for Everton. The requirements are different, so... Yes, and it's understandable, but yeah, he's definitely someone that should get more respect from whether it's Everton fans or just football in general, because he is England's number one and he's someone that's never in question, is he?
Yeah, never in question indeed. He's given us some great moments for England as well. Keenan Dewsbury-Hall is available after suspension. He picked up 5 yellow cards already, albeit one of them, in my opinion, shouldn't have counted. I don't know if you remember it. One of the worst decisions I've seen. He got booked for taking an early free kick. Fantastic player. He looks like he's been a really, really good addition to them. He's got a really good a partnership with the players on the pitch. A lot of energy as well. Yeah,
and I think he's creative. Michael's saying they're lacking a bit of creativity. But I do think he has got a little bit of David Silva about him in the way, his balance and his ability to be able to open up the defence and do something slightly different. They're a very workmanlike team, but I do think he does have talent. And it's very dangerous if he can get his head up and play a forward pass. So I think he's done really, really well, and I'm surprised. I didn't realise he was that talented, what I've seen this season. Yeah, of course, he was at Chelsea as well, and he scored, I think, in the final for them last season. Iliman Ndiaye, a man that a lot of people are talking about. We've seen him score a goal here as well, I think, last season. What a player. Yeah, he reminds me of my time there and Steven Pienaar and his ability to receive the ball in his own half and get Everton up the pitch, and he likes that responsibility. He's someone that can... Oh, that's a great finish. Yeah. He's someone that can create moments of brilliance out of nothing. So I remember this game, I don't think it was going anywhere. And then, is that a real chance? That's probably not a chance for a lot of players, and all of a sudden, he's just controlled. And having seen him, that isn't just a lucky finish. That is controlled, composed, and he said to adjust his feet after the Akanji touch. Yeah, the keeper can't get set, got no chance. Hit it that early. Yeah, what a finish. Yeah. Indeed. 3 goals, 1 assist already. We've spoken a lot in the build-up to this game about Jack Grealish. Do you think Everton are going to change the way they play without him? He offers so much, both. I think they have to. Yeah, I think they have to. I think there's a lot of their success and good play this season has come from Jack Grealish. So they will have to. Whether he wants to or not is a different matter. But Jack Grealish's ability and style of play isn't
isn't often seen and isn't replicated by many players. So I don't think they have anyone in their squad that is able and commands that respect. Like when he gets the ball, wherever he is, wherever stadium he's at, there's a respect level because they know that he's going to draw a foul, he's going to draw players in, and if you don't make a tackle, then he's going to go past you, and if you do, he's liable to go down. So yeah, they're going to have to adapt it in some way. He's playing with a smile on his face as well. The Everton fans love him, just like the Manchester City fans love him. He's a fantastic player. What's impressed you most this season?
There seems to be a freedom. He seems to have got an energy back. There's a sparkle in his play. You see that in players, and sometimes the questions being asked of you create that, and your focus and your attention come back, and you're present, and you're back in the room, sort of thing. And that's certainly how it looks to me. And he's just done so well. I can't say it because we've seen what he's capable of, but he just seems the perfect fit in the right timing, the right manager, and he's loved there, and he looks like he's the main focus. And that's not always going to happen at Man City. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got two tacticians in the studio here as well. Not just fantastic footballers, tacticians too. How do you think David Moyes is going to set up for this game? I think overall the formation will be similar. It would just be tweaks to personnel. As you say, Jack's not in there, so will the left winger be as wide? Probably not. He'd probably have to be tucked in a little bit more because you'll probably be a midfielder. Diblin, I probably would have expected him to start, but the fact that it's Alcaraz, he operates in the middle more. So would it be Dewsbury Hall going out wide? Who knows? So yeah, it'll be a similar defensive setup, but attackively it will have to be adapted because Jack's not there. Yeah, we won't be seeing Jack Grealish today, but hopefully we'll see him continuing doing well for Everton. Now, earlier on today, our under-18s took on Liverpool in the game at the CFA over at the Academy. Unfortunately, it was a 3-2 loss. It was, and we're going to show you some of the goals from the game. So it was Liverpool who took the lead in this one, actually. It was Josh Lambie, and then it was an immediate reply, wait for it, gents, by Floyd Samba. Now, you might recognise Chris Samba's that surname. That is indeed Chris Samba's son, and he will be joining us and joining you, Jolien, in the Aston Villa game. He'll be on the show with you on Match Day Live. And the same thing happened in the second half. Liverpool retook the lead. You just saw that through Joshua Aim. And it was Jake Wayne who pulled back immediately. And what a goal that was, by the way. And then, unfortunately, the game was decided in the 85th minute. And that was a goal once again by Josh Lambie in the 85th minute. Finished Liverpool 3-2 winners here in Manchester. Earlier on, City still top, by the way, of the league. But at that level, how important is it to develop and learn in situations like this? Yeah, of course. I mean, when I was 18, I was playing I was playing. By the time 18, I played 20 odd games in the first team. So, they're learning. They've got to learn quickly as well, though. Because it's a key phase for me. They'll learn as much from a defeat as they will from winning. But they'll want to get back on track quick. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, what point in their careers, Jolien, of course you've worked a lot in even in the England setups and stuff, when they're at under-18s level, there's a lot of hunger sometimes for these young kids to be straight into men's football and stuff. Is there a point where you would advise players to do that? I mean, City's facilities are fantastic, the academy's fantastic, and usually they go on to do really good things. Yeah, again, there's not a point in terms of age. There's in level and ability, regardless of your age. Like Andy said, he was playing, I was playing at 18, I'd played a number of games, and physically I was ready. I'm sure Andy was as well. So, but that's the key thing. I would look at that video and them clips, and I didn't look at them and think they're men. They still look like 18-year-old boys, so their development is in the academy. But it's important that they learn to adapt and play with men and adults as soon as possible, with and against. And again, that's why my frustration is in the setup of the reserves. It's still much of like an academy rather than you're playing against pros that have different qualities and understanding of the game. And I think you learn the game. We look at last season and we look at the development of Nico Riley. Now, if Akanji, Ake, Stones, if they had been fit all season, he wouldn't have broke in. But he broke in and he got better and better. And I think sometimes you don't realise how quick they can develop until they get the chance. You've got to be special to play for Manchester City, and the pathway is difficult to come through, and you need a break sometimes. And he certainly took it because, would those opportunities have come? And now, he's a full international. It's a remarkable story how quickly he's developed.
Yeah, absolutely incredible story. And I'm sure we'll see many more stories like that here in Manchester. What we're going to do is we're going to say thank you to you, Andy, because we're going to do a little substitution. You're going to head off to Co-Coms for the game. Enjoy the game. We're also going to head pitch side to hear from my arch nemesis on FC26 and Everton fan AJ3, who's here for today's game.
Yeah, welcome back to pitch side, where I'm joined by Andy Castell, or AJ3, which is probably much more well known than the real name. Must be strange to be known as AJ3 rather than your real name, or are you just used to it now?
I'm just used to people shouting AJ at me, even though it's just my initials. Nobody actually calls me that in my real life, but it's fine. Call me whatever you want, so long as it's polite.
And for those people who aren't aware, and I know you've got enough followers that they should, give us an idea of the kind of things you get up to on your various channels.
So I am primarily known for making FIFA and now FC, EA Sports FC content on YouTube. So got myself a few followers, get to make YouTube content as a job. It's class.
Absolutely. It's near as good as my job. In fact, maybe better than my job in some ways. Let's quickly talk about the fact, I can tell from your accent which part of the world you're from.
Yes.
Big Evertonian.
Yes.
What have you made of them this season?
It's very exciting being an Everton fan. The new stadium, the new transfers, obviously coming from City, Jack Grealish has been an absolute talisman. Dewsbury Hall has been absolutely class. It's such a good time. Moyes is back. Back in the day when we had David Moyes, I was begging for him to be able to spend some money, more than just 60 grand on Seamus Coleman. And now we've got Moyes back, and we've got that era of pushing on. It's so exciting.
Well, you in the camp of people that wanted him to come back when the vacancy came up?
Yeah, I love Moyes historically. I'll be honest with you, I was in the keep hold of Sean Dyche camp. I thought he'd done such a good job for us the year before, keeping us up. But then when Moyes come in, that bounce and that immediate turn, I was hold my hands up, fair play, he's absolutely smashed it. And I just love David Moyes from years ago at his first into Everton, the Cahill, the Arteta, the Coleman, that sort of era. That was when I was every game, every week, season ticket. It was so good.
And you mentioned Jack. How disappointed are you that he can't play today? What's your feeling on that rule?
It's such an annoying rule as an Everton fan who just wants Jack Grealish to be able to play. In terms of the politics of it, I'm not really sure. I feel like if you're happy to send a player away, they should be able to play every game, and if you didn't want them to play against you, maybe you should have kept hold of them. But I'm just happy that for the other -2 games of the season, we get to actually play Jack Grealish, because he's been such a talisman for us this year. I was just saying, his last 3 games, I think he scored the game-winning goal, got 2 assists and got 2 assists, won Player of the Month for us. It's unbelievable. He's so good. It's
a funny thing, because he's incredibly popular here. I mean, the fans have always taken to him. Pep always says, well, what a lovely guy he is. Just give us an idea of the affection that you've already got for someone who's only been with you 2 months.
They say don't fall in love with a lone player, and I feel like Everton fans, like I think every football fan in England, just loves Jack Grealish. He's such a nice guy. I had the pleasure of presenting him the Player of the Month when he won it, and he's just such a lovely bloke. He's just so down to earth, he's so nice, he's so friendly, and he just seems to have like a heart of gold. A little bit of behind the scenes info for you is the Player of the Month that they take the picture with. The Premier League just keep hold of that, and that gets shepherded around the country each month to be given to the person who's won to take the PR pictures with. And then the player gets sent one out to their house, to the training grounds, whatever, personally engraved, etc, etc. So Jack thought that was his one, as you would, and he's saying, can I have it? And the guy's like, no, this is our one, we take this back. He's like, no, I just want to send a picture to my mum. And he was just so buzzing and just so happy that he's won it, and he just couldn't wait to get hold of it and get his phone out and be like, mum, look what I've won. And he's just got a heart of gold. He's such a lovely bloke.
And I assume he would get into your little 5 selected team that you would have if you were doing a little bit of content. If you were, say, selecting a 5, would you put him in?
For Everton, 100%. I can't wait to Evo Jack Grealish on FC26. I'm waiting for the because he won August Player of the Month and the new game wasn't out, we didn't get a special Jack Grealish to put in my team. So I am crossing my fingers and counting down the days until he gets one to go straight in.
And if you were doing a mixed City and Everton?
So, funnily enough, Erling Haaland has just won the next Player of the Month. Yeah, so we can maybe do a little bit of Haaland Grealish link up again. One at Everton, one at City. I'm sure that'll be fine. He'll be very good.
And what are your thoughts on Pickford staying for it even longer than you originally thought?
Being completely real about it, and realism, and not being Everton blue-eyed glasses on. If we didn't have Jordan Pickford, there's a very real chance that we wouldn't just be in the Championship, we'd be in League One.
Really?
And the way Sunderland went down and then went down again, and you just sort of go into free fall, you lose all of the revenue. Jordan Pickford has been an absolute talisman for our football club and has at times single-handedly kept us in the Premier League, and there's that very real we've been so close so many years, and we're doing much better this year, and I'm very optimistic for a top 10 pushing towards Conference League sort of performance. But years gone by, the Lampard year, Dyche coming in, Jordan Pickford's basically single-handedly saved us, so we could have gone down again and just gone into free fall. So he's sounds hyperbolic, doesn't it, to say he saved the club, but that's the level that Pickford is on, I think, for Everton fans.
Interesting. I'm really to hear you say that. What are your gut feelings about today then?
I think there is a chance that City come out and put on a performance that would beat 1 in 10 times City would come out and put on a performance that would beat your Barcelonas, your Real Madrid, your PSGs, and just wipe the floor of them.
Ball playing centre halves, and I think again, what Rio gets credit for is he's travelling with the ball, and I think that was the only way you could be recognised as a ball playing centre half. Like, listen, there is other centre halves, i.e. John Terry, who was very comfortable in possession and a ball playing centre half, but probably didn't travel like Rio. But for me, like I said, Rio was the standout.
Let's then move down. We'll go to what's on our left-hand side. On your right, Patrick Vieira. I mean, also, these are names that just need no introduction, but wowee.
Game changer. I think he changed recruitment for that role in midfield. I think after his presence for Arsenal, I think everyone wanted a version of Patrick Vieira. And I think everyone was looking for that 6'2", 6'3" midfielder that could run box to box. Again, requirements of the game were slightly different, but for me, again, someone that's iconic. But all of these guys, but especially Patrick, for what he's achieved, which is probably arguing more than any of us with World Cup, one of the most humblest people I've came across, not just footballer. So, yeah, Patrick is someone that I truly value his opinion and friendship. And
you, I mean, you were around as well because we had obviously a spell at Manchester City. What impact did he have on the group?
He's massive. There isn't a version. This version of Vincent isn't that without Patrick.
Wow.
No, like he had the respect of the group that I don't think I'd seen before or after. Like, everyone had respect for everyone, but like I said, I go back, I think I've spoken about it before, we go back to the FA Cup final, and he addressed us. He was in the squad, by the way, on the bench, but he told staff to get out, and he delivered us a speech and a team talk and made us aware of the importance of what we was going to do and what we could achieve. So Patrick's aura and presence is unique.
And in that speech, because I remember you told me about this, and was it just a case of like they kind of telling you what was going to happen in the game, or more just kind of inspiring?
Just the gratitude, just because again he wasn't patronising in any way, the name, but in regards to what he knew was expected of us as players. So that was fair, but also what was the bigger picture of what this leads to. So he was just solely aware of what it all looked like, and again, we see him as a ex-City player. I don't know how Arsenal haven't got him involved in
that setup,
because he's crazy. His aura, like I said, there's players that have it without even trying. He's definitely one of them.
He is. Paul Ince also would be unbelievable.
My first hero.
Really?
Yeah, that's the guy, like the first England black captain for England. Like, he's the player I wanted to be growing up because I played midfield, and he's the guy. And lucky enough, got to play with him at Wolves, and I told him that he was my hero, and he never let me live that down. But someone, again, if I was to need advice, I like to think, and he has done. I don't need to think. If I text him or call him, he's going to pick up the phone and give me honest advice. And he was someone that I built up a relationship with, that he was able to criticise as well as praise. He would definitely tell me when I'm doing well, but he would definitely tell me when my standards had dropped. So, he's someone I admire.
Very, very special indeed. And finally, what an absolute beast up front, of course. Two of his lads part of the academy as well. We've seen them make cameos this season. Emil Heskey, who was also at the under-18s game earlier today. What a player.
Wow, and again, he's definitely underappreciated for his contribution. And I think he obviously played with more glamorous names, but his contribution in them teams was special. I think Michael Owens talked about him being his best partner. You know what I mean? So his favourite partner. So a lot of people would just assume it would be Wayne Rooney, but his selfless performances for England, for Liverpool. I remember him going back to Leicester. I don't think there's many players that remember his dominance for Leicester that gets him the move to Liverpool. And he was like a version of Didier Drogba before Didier. So Emil, and again, such a great guy, a humble guy. I'm pleased for him and his family and the kids.
Yeah, absolutely. They're doing so well as well. Hopefully they'll be making a few more first team appearances this season. Fantastic five-a-side team there. Would you? Who do you think would win, your five-a-side team or that? You know, Nadem, you.
Today.
Yeah.
Yeah, Patrick can't play. Patrick can't move. Patrick and Incy cannot move. And I'm going up front against Rio. I'm running rings around him. Yeah, we're beating them.
Lovely stuff. Right, now, we've had a few new guests on Matchday Live this season. If you've been watching the show, you might have seen them. If not, where have you been? These are the type of things that we bring you here on the show. First up, we had Ben Mee. And Ben Mee was talking about how you try and deal with the machine that is Mr. Erling Haaland.
He's annoying because he just pops up in the right places at the right times, and then his physicality is so big and strong, and you know, you try and do everything you can. He'll sort of be quiet in games and you think you've sort of got him a little bit, and then he'll pop up. I think we played City at the Etihad and it was 0-0 for a long time, and then the one slip from Chris Ayer, who plays today, and then he was in and scored, and you just know when he's one-on-one he's going to score, he's going to bury it, and his physicality in and around the box, and he doesn't get involved too much in games sometimes, but then even during the week then he pops up with 2 goals, and you know, in those scenarios, those situations, the ball coming into the box, you know, so powerful and strong, and he's just a nightmare for defenders.
Just a nightmare for defenders, simple as that.
Definitely, and probably even more so now because there's not another version of that that's less dominant than Erling. There's not a version of him anyway.
No.
But again, in my generations, there were similar versions of that. So you was learning against them, and then you come against the best, and then you think, well, that didn't work against that player, so I'm going to try this against this version of it. But there's not that in this today's game. It's like it's all lightly prescribed, and you can see. But when you do face that, and we seen in the last game against Brentford that when he gets up against defenders, and he's described that as one of his most favourite goals he scored, a proper centre forwards goal, and it was nice to hear him say that because again he's going to get credit for all the other goals and the wonderful finishes that we see, but that is the ones that isn't a chance for everyone.
No, he made that happen.
Yeah. And only he can make that happen, and that's the bit that you have to recognise is that people look at the finishes and think, oh, so-and-so would have scored that, but they don't get there.
No.
They don't get to that opportunity because he's had to hold someone off, take 2 touches, drive inside and then finish.
Yeah. Unbelievable goal. And finally, Fabian Delph. Now, I loved Delph when he was on Matchday Live. Had some great chats, but he was speaking about Nico O'Reilly and, of course, as well about his moving from centre midfield to left back, same as what Fabian did.
Tactically, you've really got to get on board, because that's where you'll get found out. Because 60-70% of the time, City will be in possession of the ball. He'll be in that midfield position where he's just distributing the ball. But it's when he's out of position and he's got to be tactically sound. And that's the best bit about his game that I've been impressed with. I'm not surprised that he's been able to be as comfortably as he has, getting on the ball and distributing it. But winning his aerial duels, his 1v1 battles, his recovery runs, his aggressiveness, I think he's been absolutely outstanding.
Really has. I mean, you know, you have to. I remember you always talk about as well. You have to take your chances, and sometimes you need a bit of timing. It was unfortunate the injury to Aid Nouri, but he's just absolutely relished the opportunity, hasn't he?
Yeah, and rightly so in the squad for England, and continues to play the way he's playing, and he's played since he's broke into the team. He hopefully he's on the plane to the World Cup. But yeah, like Duffy said, that there's things that we probably would have expected coming through the academy, and technically, I don't think. Anyone's surprised by his level, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, but his ability to adapt his game, that's the impressive bit. I do think it's not easier for a midfielder to go wider, because now he knows everyone's closing me up. Like Nico O'Reilly is used to being surrounded
360, and
he has to find his way to get out of that. So now knowing, I can see everyone closing me down, it's slightly easier from that aspect. But like Delphi was saying, the physicality, his understanding, he's challenging. There's elements of his game that he's probably never had to do.
No.
And he's learnt them in a first-team environment and been able to cope, so he deserves a lot of credit.
And also his mentality. I mean, it does seem like nothing really kind of phases him. And I think Pep was speaking about this in his pre-match conference this week. You know, that he's very, he always talks about being stable in the mind. And Nico feels very grounded and very calm.
Yeah, I think all of the players coming through, I think you could say the same about Rico, Lewis, Phil Foden. I think that's the bit that Pep's always spoke about. Phil, I know we're talking about Nico, is his ability to forget the last action, and I think Nico has that capability as well, and I think that's evident from the academy players coming in. It's like, regardless of what I did, good, bad or indifferent, there's something else I need to do, so it's about doing that.
Lovely stuff. Right, gosh, not too long till we're going to hand over to your commentary team today. Remember, get that over on the Manchester City app. The boys are in the tunnel. Your starting 11, Gigi Donnarumma, Nunes, Diaz, Ake, Nico Riley, Nico Gonzalez in the holding midfield role, Reinders with Phil Foden, Savinho and Doku on the wings, Erling Haaland completes the starting 11. I was very happy as well to see Marmoush on the subs bench. Final thoughts from you, Jolien. Tough ask for Everton today. How can you see this going?
Yeah, I'm confident we get the job done. Yeah, he's a tough ask. Listen, the fact that I haven't got Jack is massive for them. He's going to have a massive impact on them, not just attackively, defensively, because he gets them up the pitch when they're under pressure. So hopefully we pray on that. Not taken for granted, but yeah, get the job done.
Lovely stuff. Jolien, can I get a score prediction from you, please, my friend?
2-0, Man City.
2-0. Do you think as well, and seeing the bench starting to get a little bit stronger, as I say, Omar Marmoush coming back, great to see Cherki down there as well, warming up. All of a sudden, we know we're starting to get these games thick and fast. If something's not quite working in the low block, we can now turn to the bench again.
Yeah, and I think that's the beauty of the subs, is not just the quality, the variety. They're so different in their styles.
Yeah.
Like, you can bring someone on, he's going to be a different version of what you're changing. So, yeah, I think that's key to the success, because if you're making subs, it tends to be because that player isn't working. So it needs to be a different version of that, and we have that them options now.
And from an Everton point of view, obviously they know it's always difficult to come to the Etihad. They've not had the greatest, form of results against us in the past, but probably come with a little bit of confidence given the way they've had the season's gone so far, particularly at Goodwood.
Yeah, they'll be coming with a lot of confidence because of the way they're playing, the results, the performances. They probably should have more points due to their performances, but they'll also understand this isn't anywhere. This is somewhere where if you come and are not at your best and not fully focused, you can get hurt. So I'm sure David Moyes has made them aware that regardless of how confident we are in ourselves, they have to be respectful.
Yes, yeah. Jolien, thank you so much. There they are. They make their way to the tunnel. So why don't you make your way over to the Manchester City app? Alistair Mann will be guiding you through the game, and then myself and Jolien will be back at half-time and full-time. And come back at half-time, we're going to have a special guest joining us. I won't tell you who, but it'll be worth coming back for. I look forward to seeing you then. Last thing for me to say is, come on, City.
Thank you, Kel. Immaculate timing. The players in the tunnel literally about to make their walk out into a pulsating, throbbing Etihad Stadium. And just as the players are about to emerge, the sun has just come out as well over the city, which just adds that little extra buoyancy to events this afternoon. Two goalkeepers have just embraced, Donnarumma and Pickford, Italy and England's #1 custodians. Well, if City win this afternoon against Everton, they could go to the top of the Premier League table. It is just one of the many incentives for the Blues as they return to the Etihad Stadium following the 2-week international break. Unbeaten now since August, City have been steadily climbing back to where we expect them to be. And with the treatment room becoming less crowded by the day, there is a real sense that the Blues are truly gathering momentum. Well, the 2-week break hasn't quite been long enough for Rodri to return to full fitness after he came off against Brentford. Nico will deputise once again in midfield. Jeremy Doku's wonderful form was evident as his Belgium side beat Wales, and he returns to the starting lineup again. The third change sees Nathan Ake replace Joško Gvardiol in defence. It is the Dutchman's first start of the season. Erling Haaland's incredible form saw him add another hat-trick, this time for Norway. He's now hit 21 goals for club and country. Well, there are also 3 changes for the visitors. One is enforced as City loanee Jack Grealish is unable to face his parent club. Dewsbury Hall returns after suspension. Alcaraz and Beto also come in. Everton's 3 defeats so far this season have all come away from their new Hill Dickinson Stadium. Alongside me this afternoon is the former City captain Andy Morrison. Andy, Rodri unavailable today following his injury at Brentford. Psychologically, how do we cope without his massive presence?
Well,